Homemade super suits. Sometimes they're beautifully crafted pieces of art that end up looking better than their more professional counterparts, and sometimes they kind of butt. It's okay, I still love you. But these DIY makeshift type superhero costumes are such an essential part of the journey in general. We need the little build up to the official suit, you know? Unless it's a story that takes place after this hero is already established and everything. But we gotta show more love to these homemade Day Zero super suits. Peep game! I'm a huge fan of these types of suits because A, they look raw as hell, and B, they're in the story in the first place to represent inexperience and a general rookiness of being this early in the game. This trope really exists outside of comic books and superheroes too when you think about it. Look at Link at the beginning of any Zelda game versus at the end. But I think it's most interesting in superheroes because their DIY tutorial type suits tend to look like a pre-evolution to what the final suit ends up looking like. Off rip, we gotta show love to what I think may genuinely be the greatest one of these suits to ever grace the planet. MCU Spidey has such a fire tutorial suit. Peep the exquisite balance between the red and blue, the big old chunky web shooters, the very obviously hand-cut armless hoodie, the hand-drawn spider emblem. It looks like a Team Peter Parker made this, but in the best way possible. The fancy gear is nice, but it's ultimately not needed, and that's what's conveyed by this suit. But the mask and the lenses are the hardest part of this whole thing. The fact that the goggle type lenses still move with his eyes is so tough. It's perfect. Also, I know you see the Scarlet Spider influence in there too. Maybe that's why I think this suit is so hard. But the goggles still needing to be adjustable to help calibrate his Spidey sense is just such a creative way to implement that feature into the most DIY version of his suit. Like, for as much that people give MCU Spidey, the adjustable lenses in live action is like a staple of this version of the character. And this is fire. Even in his most stripped down, bare bones suit, he still has the adjustable lenses, bruh. That is fire. The role this suit played in Homecoming was great too. Tony took his shiny, awesome, cool new suit away, but that was not about to stop him from being the one and only GOAT of New York. And so he went back to basics, and it worked out. I also really like how comfortable the suit itself looks too, because it's like when you're Spider-Man and you're swinging through New York 30 billion miles an hour, you doing all type of flips and you can't be doing this in jeans, bruh. You need sweats. The only bad thing you can say about this is that it maybe, kinda, sorta, look like some PJs. But damn near all of these suits look like some PJs. The version of this suit from Civil War was buns though, but that only showed up for like 2 seconds though, so who give? Now Invincible's homemade suit is really homemade though. Golly, do this even count? Let me not hate though, you feel me? Everybody here is just working with what they got right now, but oh my, this suit is fried. His dad is Omni-Man though, so he got his actual suit like 3 days later. The same way the goggles on his main suit get shattered to smithereens every single fight this man has, it's like every image of this DIY suit has one of the goggles punched out too. Invincible is simply incapable of having a suit that's not beat the f up. This man's quirk is literally battle damage. At least this does a pretty good job of protecting his identity though, right? There's a lot of reasons to dislike the DCEU Flash, but his suit cannot be one of them, bruh. This nigga look clean as hell in his first appearance. This gotta be a Hall of Fame homemade suit, dog. Look, the whole thing is 3D printed, and having the wires all over the suit to hold everything together is such a creative way to give the Flash a more armored look while still making it slim and sleek because he run fast. They absolutely fried this dude Barry with the Flash movie suit though. Golly, this look horrible. It's actually not even that bad. It just makes him look a little chonky and awkward. The actual texture and material of that suit also just look so uncanny, I guess. Like, what is the Flash's suit supposed to be made of in that movie? It looks like not rubber, but it looks like, I don't know, computer generated imagery. Like, it doesn't look tangible at all. The like little emblem is cool though, but that's also the part of the suit that has the most personality at all. So, you know, touch and go, give and take. You feel me? That suit is buns though. Well, it's not buns, but it's not great. But the Justice League suit is such a fun way to do a homemade type of suit without just making it sweatpants or something. Heroes like Spidey or Invincible can just throw on some sweats for their DIY suits, but the Flash needs to be able to have a suit that fits his powers better, like 3D printed armor that's gonna make him more aerodynamic or something. Or maybe it just looks cool. I don't know. Side note to Doom, if we ever see Flash in this new DCU, please, for the love of all that is holy, make that motherfucker Wally West. Wally Nation, rise up! Another timeless classic homemade suit is Static the GOAT. His homemade suits are so fire, them shits just ended up staying as his main suits. My favorite version of this suit was always the black t-shirt variant rather than the white tee he had on in the beginning of the series. But yeah, this suit is really just a shirt, some shades, a mask, mask, and a long ass coat. And it just works so excellently. Sometimes he gets a hat, but the openly exposed locks have just always been more fire to me. Shout out my GOAT Virgil Hawkins, bruh. Can we get more static in media, please? I don't care if it's a movie, a new series, a role in a movie or series, literally anything. I never watched the continuations of Young Justice past its initial first 2 seasons, but I heard Static shows up in those, but I low-key heard that he gets hoed and he doesn't get any screen time, so give me Static with a bigger role in something, bro. Static don't even gotta be the main character, but just give me Static as a substantial character in something, please. Out of all the lightning goats, Static is like top 5 at least. Storm number 1, of course. Number 2, does Miles count? I think Miles counts, but like, Miles got so many other powers, it's like, it feels weird putting him as like one of the electric nigga goats. But also Storm got other powers too, but like Storm is low-key known for not just the electricity. Alright, well the list is cooked. Never mind, bro. Static is up there. Static a go. Oh yeah, another Hall of Fame pick is of course the man without fear, the devil of Hell's Kitchen, Matt Murdock the God. Daredevil has one of, if not the greatest homemade suit. I know I said this about like 3 other people already, but the suit is clean. The black mask over his eyes with the little white poking through underneath, the Muay Thai wrappings on his arms, fully blacked out suit. This is peak character design. This also gotta be like the easiest character to cosplay with this suit too. I kinda already talked about why this suit is so goated in my Daredevil video, but it really is the epitome of less is more. It's simple, yet still so recognizable, and also it's just hard as Alright, this might seem out of left field, but the main trio of vigilantes and My Hero Vigilantes have such an interesting variety of homemade types of suits. The Crawler is literally wearing a hoodie, a face mask, and some armor pads, and it works so well as a suit that's meant for somebody who isn't sponsored by a hero agency or even is a licensed hero at all. This is an illegal hero. Knuckle Duster got the same idea going with the bandana of doom over his face and a big ass trench coat, not to mention the vibranium plated, adamantium infused brass knuckles he keep on him at all times. Pop Step definitely looks the most official in her costume, but even her is still DIY too. The mask on her face ain't even actually a mask. It's just really good looking face paint. These 3 have such fun designs for characters that live in a world full of licensed, officially sponsored heroes who get paid to do this. They don't get none of the glitz and glam that come with the job because they're doing it illegally, and their suits reflect that so well. The Spider-Verse movies are genuinely the greatest movies to ever grace the entirety of the known universe, and Miles gets some of his best suits in these movies too. But that DIY suit he had in Into the Spider-Verse was some of the most garbage shit I ever seen. This shit ain't even fit him. But of course it's meant to look like some doo-doo ass though. The fact that the suit don't fit and looks like butt represents how unready Miles is for this role at this point. These are the highest of high waters I've ever bore witness to though. Like, come on dog, this shit is a little funny. But then he gets the actual greatest spider suit in all of fiction and then has the greatest moment in all of Spider-Man media. I really wanted to bring up the actual main suits that Miles wears in these movies too, cause like, look, they're kind of sort of a little bit DIY, right? He spray painted them, you feel me? He was doing the little montage, that shit was fire. But because the base of the suit literally came from Peter's old bat cave, I feel like that shit can't count as a DIY homemade suit. It's not homemade. It's home modified. It's a beautifully modified suit. I'm also so curious as to how his suit is gonna look in Beyond, cause look, you know they finna give him a new suit. It's a new Spider-Man movie. That is getting a new suit, and I'm really hoping it's like a fusion of Into and Across, or maybe something completely different. Who knows? I don't know. It's gonna look fire regardless. Look, I have full wholehearted faith in this team, bro. They're cooking peak as we speak. Bars. And look, bro, 2027 not that far, right? Right. Spider-Man in general has so many homemade suits across all the various movies, comics, and series that have come out. Really, Tobey and Andrew's final Spidey suits are homemade too, but those are their actual final, fully fledged hero type suits. And I really mean like intro suits for the purposes of this video, so them motherfuckers don't count. Granted, they also both got their own tutorial suits, and they both look a little meh as fuck. Tobey's suit was meant for wrestling, and Andrew's suit kinda looked like if a mannequin was trying to look like an undercover cop and was also red. Spidey's first suit in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is also an excellent DIY suit. I feel like this one is so good for a lot of the same reasons the Homecoming makeshift suit is, which makes sense for an alternate version of MCU Spidey. I love how clunky and chonky the web shooters are, and the fact that they have the wires leading into the pressure tank on his back. It feels like it takes the practicality of the Homecoming suit and then just cranks it up to 11. That's fire. I also just always like when Spidey be having clothes on over his suit too. Kinda sort of side note, but it's actually so creative for Homecoming to start with Peter having his fancy fancy, cool new suit and then making him downgrade in the final act. I ain't never seen that done before. Except maybe that one time Steve Rogers did it in The Winter Soldier. I feel like there's a really good suit from a character that's right on the tip of my thinking nodes, and I'm not gonna remember until right as I hit upload. But yeah, I think it's really cool that the best of these suits work for such vastly different reasons depending on the character. See me almost run out of breath just now? Damn. I also think it's so fire when the homemade suit is so good, the character keeps it on for an extended period of time. You feel me? Daredevil, his shit was so good, he went back to it. Granted, there were plot reasons for him going back to the black suit, but like, bruh, them writers wanted that back in that suit. They know he too clean. I really wanted to find a way to bring up the X-Men here too, but them motherfuckers have no homemade suits, to my knowledge at least. I might be wrong. The closest I can think of is like their more casual looking suits, like when they had the was it the Jim Lee suits where they had like the huge X on their like bomber jackets? Those were clean. Not Jim Lee, the Morrison X-Men suits. Yes, those are like the closest to homemade I can think of, and they're really not even homemade. They just look more casual. They finna be wearing this in X-Men 97 season 2 though. But yeah, shout out these homemade DIY makeshift tutorial type suits, and shout out you.
I can't feel my face right now, I'm burning up. I got this feeling that I won't come down, like got this feeling that I won't come